Is it ethical to raise a vegan child? Are there any nutritional deficiencies to worry about? What about their freedom of choice? And does it have any effects socially? This week I'm joined by Daniela and Adam from UK Vegan Family, who have a vegan child and are willing to answer my questions on the topic. If you haven't already, please like this video to ensure that it reaches people's feeds. Do you feel like you're forcing your views on Jack?
I think the word force is interesting because we're not forcing a view. We've just told him the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the uncomfortable truth that we've had to talk to him about. And anyone who knows Jack knows that he's a very compassionate, very well-spoken young man who doesn't even want to go down a slide if there's an animal on there, like an insect. So he's very compassionate towards animals, and he loves animals, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah. Well, he wouldn't want to put that in on him.
No, absolutely no way. He'd be heartbroken to think that he'd ever eaten an animal. So absolutely no way. It's the uncomfortable truth that we've had to tell him.
And you know I'm on your side, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And has Jack been vegan since birth?
He's never eaten animals. He
was vegetarian when he was
like
born.
me. So he was born like me, born as a vegetarian, but he went plant-based around 16 months.
Yeah, 16 months.
After we watched What the Health and decided that
because we'd already
gone vegan.
We'd already gone vegan, but at this point we were sort of making sure it was possible,
doing the
healthy.
Research
and you know, we all know it's fine now, but at the time we just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to be missing out anything for his diet, for his nutrients and his macronutrients, and you know, all that jargon,
all the jazz.
So yeah, and then as soon as we just thought it was safe enough to do so, and you know, we had the information and the evidence-based practice research in front of us and the papers and all that, we went 16 months.
And it's been easy because he has always eaten what we've eaten anyway. The only thing he'd ever really had was dairy. He'd never eaten eggs, had he?
Yeah, he didn't like eggs. He didn't like eggs.
Okay.
And that was even before we, told him where they'd come from and things like that. Because we used to do him like eggy soldiers, didn't we? And he just wouldn't eat it.
No,
he just didn't like it.
But he's 3.5 now, so for pretty much most of his life, he's been plant-based. Well, he's definitely a vegan. He's a vegan.
Very proud vegan.
I don't know if it's a rude question. Was he breastfed?
He was. And actually, he wasn't
from the birth though, was he?
He wasn't breastfed. Well, it's a bit of a different story.
It's a bit of a different story.
He's always had breast milk, and actually, it was only recently that I've actually completely finished feeding him. He was still feeding at night, at bedtime, but that's something that I wanted him to naturally stop doing. But unfortunately, I forced him to stop recently. If we're using the word force.
It was just kind of like, Jack, do you really need it now?
No,
it was more like booby cuddles, wasn't it? Rather than...
But it's a natural thing for, many parents to do. And it's a natural for the children if that's what they're used to. And actually, most the adult population all over the world is still breastfeeding. They just don't see that cow's milk is breast milk. So
that's very true.
What I was doing with my son is perfectly normal and natural.
Yes, I agree. But I imagine you got some pushback for that.
Yes, quite a lot. Even when he was 6 months, it was, don't you think he should go on to
proper? Really?
Yeah, don't you think he should go on to proper milk now? This is proper milk.
I love that proper milk.
Proper milk from a cow's udder, from their teeth. We've had a lot of pushbacks, but going plant-based, for me, it was actually through breastfeeding that I started this journey. When I myself realized, as a born vegetarian, oh my God, I'm drinking milk from a cow.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing? Why am I doing this? And it was through that journey that I went, Jack is not having dairy as a drink. Obviously, he had a bit of cheese and yogurt, but he's never had it as a drink because it just didn't feel right. Yeah.
It's very interesting that breastfeeding was sort of a catalyst to get you thinking.
It's not unheard of. It's not unheard of. It is sometimes.
It is funny, isn't it?
It is. A lot of women It can do. There's a whole thing called Mothers Against Dairy, and it's something that I'd looked into, and there's quite a lot of women who are against the dairy industry because of what's involved.
And so did you guys go vegan at the same time?
Yeah.
I think you did it a day ahead of me or something like that. And
I was already coming
and
away,
I was like, well, actually, if you're going to do it, then I'm going to do it too, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think for me, it was I stopped drinking cow's breast milk, switched to oat milk, started telling you, because obviously you weren't.
Because I was interested in it. I was in this sort of place where I thought, no, I could never be vegan, sort of thing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
we've all said that.
Yeah.
And I think we were discussing it, weren't we, one day? And I thought, I decided, well, if you're going to do it, then I want to see it. I want to try it. I want to know what it's all about, because I can't have an opinion on it unless I've attempted it myself.
Yeah.
And
we did the
and here we are,
didn't we?
Yeah, here we are 2 years, nearly 3 years down the line now.
Yeah.
But it was, what was that documentary that I was watching? And it was the triggering point for me, wasn't it?
Health. It was
What the Health. I was sat there eating dead cow burgers.
While you're watching What the Health?
And about halfway through What the Health, I looked at my burger and thought, this ain't food anymore. This is not food. I was looking at it
like trying to prove a point while you're watching it.
That's what he was like. No. He was really against veganism.
I was like, right, I need to see it, I need to have an opinion. And
he used to laugh at
halfway
me.
through it, I was like, this ain't food anymore. And I was like, I can't eat it.
And
she was like, you shouldn't waste it. You can't waste it. It's offensive to waste it. And I was like, I don't want to eat it. And then, it's at the time, it was a bit of a...
It was an awakening for you.
Yeah, it was an awakening.
He was the biggest burger eater.
And the thing is,
burgers him.
And it was just like when you've got the patty in the bun there, and I squeezed it, and I just saw the grease and all that just come out of it. Like, that is not, What the Health is trying to tell me what that is, if you know what I mean. And it was at that point. Well, at that point, I went plant-based, didn't I?
Yes.
And then the veganism with the animal ethics came a little bit later, but not very far away. It was like a week later or something, or 2 weeks later. Okay. I went vegan, yeah. I then clicked with the animal ethics.
Because you detached yourself now, you were able to look at it, or?
Basically. I didn't see animal products as food, and then the animals came a little bit later and what they go through.
Yes, we watched a bit of Earthlings, didn't we?
Yeah, I think I watched 16 minutes of it, and I thought that's enough, wasn't it?
I think that's all that was needed, because I don't know about you, Reese, but when you've been vegetarian a long time, you feel like you have this right to not see slaughter footage because you have never, contributed to it. But that was my view at the time. Obviously, I've since watched Dominion, but I sat there to watch this with Adam because I knew what was going on, and I thought, well, if he's got to watch this, then so have I. But we managed 18 minutes.
Even you didn't.
I couldn't watch it. It was horrible.
Because it's a very naive thing to say, isn't it? Because I was a vegetarian.
I don't have to watch it.
Even though you are secretly kind of...
I was paying for it.
Paying towards it. But there I was, just, willy-nilly throwing money at it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Lots of learning involved over the last few years, anyway.
Yeah. Just going back to children now. Should children just be allowed to decide for themselves later on?
No, I don't agree.
This is where I kind of, we disagree at some stage. I think it's best to tell Jack the truth. All the way up to the point where he's like sort of 16, maybe 18. I don't know which age is probably more appropriate to. Then he should be able to make his own mind up, because we've taught him everything he needs to know. And if he wants to go against that, then that's entirely up to him. He's an adult then. He can make his own mind up. But at least we know as parents we have done the absolute best.
Yeah. But as a child,
no.
And it's like, if Jack was to say to me, oh, could I have a cigarette because it's my choice to have a cigarette, I would say, well, no. Animal flesh is like a class 2B carcinogenic.
Yeah. So
smoking is about the same, if not a bit more. I can't remember, but no. And as someone who has never eaten animals, I have never wanted to eat animals because I knew that animals were killed. to be given to people to eat. And obviously when he's older, if he says, nah, this isn't for me, when he's older, then that's his decision. And I actually think in some ways, although it would be really devastating to know that he would, you know, want to eat those products and potentially ruin his health that we've worked hard to, you know, look out for, but it is his decision when he's older. But I can't ever see him wanting to do that, because he's learned from a young age what goes on. And I also wouldn't be scared to say, all right, son, well, just come here and sit down and watch Dominion, because you're old enough to make that decision. You're old enough to come and watch that with me, just so you know exactly what you are getting into.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying.
But I think vegan children have a thing really, whereas they've started off in life without those, you know, that taste for animal flesh, that taste for dairy. And when they are older and they have that choice, they haven't missed out because they've never had it. If you
and I think this is where, when people say this, the child should have the choice. There are two ways to think of it. You know, you either choose to be vegan later, or you choose to eat animals later.
If eating animals is a choice, why choose to be cruel?
Yeah.
And I think children were told from the very beginning the truth. I think a lot more children would cause uproar about it. And it tends to be children. There's a lot of children out there that we've come across that are the ones saying, I don't want to eat animals anymore. And unfortunately, the parents are sometimes like, well, you have to eat animals because that's where you get your protein.
Yeah, they believe it's good for them, right?
As a, you know, a populace, as a, you know, whole world of people, there needs to be more easier, you know, access to information about nutrition when it comes to plant-based products, because people, you know, think, you know, calcium, milk, cow's milk, you know, protein, dead corpses. They don't ever. That's it, and that is like that. That is like the
but
thought
that's
process.
why we're teaching Jack now how to eat healthily. So we're asking him, do you think things like peanut butter are healthy? And he knows it is. He knows that he can have so much of it. It's a good fat source for him, and we're teaching him stuff like that now, because that's stuff he needs to know as he grows up. He needs to know how to eat and how to, you know, what he should be eating in a day, really. So we're teaching him that now.
Yeah, that's what we're going through.
So what would you say to people who might say that you're taking the choice away from him now?
It depends who it is. If somebody was to come over to us and question our parental responsibilities, I would say, right, I'm just going to stop you there. Let me just remind you that this is our son and this is not your son. So we are parents. If it was a relative, I would remind them that they've been a parent before and they need to step back. That's nice, Daniela. That's don't cross the line before the fierce wolf will come out. And if it's anyone else, I would just tell them the truth, basically. I mean, most of our relatives have heard it all, whether they choose to listen or just
because these parents think that we're taking, you know, that this away from them. But all I'm trying to say is,
you try and force.
It's like the children don't know the full story.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
they don't.
Their choice is based upon basically a lie.
You can ask Jack if he would like some chocolate, and he would say, has it got cow's breast milk in? And if you say yes, he says, no, I don't want that. There was an incident at the nursery a little while ago where I think it was around Halloween. They brought Haribo sweets in. And Jack said to me, I didn't want that, Mommy. It's got gelatine in. So he's made a choice for himself. So I think you can't force him to eat animals. He doesn't want to eat them. He's very loud and proud. He talks about it to his friends. When they've been drinking cow's milk, he's actually said that's from a cow and that's disgusting. And all the other children have gone, whoa, what's this I'm drinking? It's disgusting. I don't want it neither.
No way. Cool.
Yeah, he has. And it's kind of escalated conversations with the nursery where they want to look after him and make sure what they're doing is right. And he will go out and say, excuse me, are you vegan? And if you say no, he'll ask why. So he knows the truth, and he wants to know why you aren't vegan. That's what he would say.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do a lot of the talking, really. He does it.
Just going back to the Haribo sweets and things like that, it's not like at this day and age in 2021 that he has to go without it.
No,
There are alternatives there are vegan Haribo, alternatives to Haribo for vegans. So, we've always got like, sweets and things like that. We don't always give it him, but if we do have an incident like this, we're like, don't worry, Jack, we've got some at home you can have.
He wouldn't want it anyway.
It was like the chocolate coins he had in a birthday party bag, and
I asked him, do you want this coin?
It looked like a pog, didn't it?
Yeah,
and then we opened it up and we're like, oh, this is dairy. And then he went,
I asked him, do you want it, Jack? It's got cow's breast milk in, and he went, no.
So we had to get.
I don't want it.
So luckily we had some. Was it Move Free?
Yeah, I think so.
We had some Move Free chocolate in the cupboard,
nice.
so we're like, you can have these instead.
Well, he took it back to nursery the next day and went, I don't want this. It's got cow's breast milk in. Have it. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
He's very, he knows his voice. He also knows that a lot of people are not vegan, and we're having a lot of conversations around that it doesn't make them a bad person because they eat animals. It's just a lot of people don't know yet, and but there's nothing we can really do. All we can do is talk about it with people.
Yeah, because you
can't make people do anything, can you? Really,
and a lot of it is through the way they've been raised as well. So you can't. It's not their fault. It's not their parents' fault. It's like the parents before. The pointing game could go on and on. Yeah. But I think people need to start making more conscious decisions around what they're doing, especially in this day and age.
And we're here to tell them exactly what they're doing with their choices.
Yeah. And what impact they're having on the animals, the environment, on their health, But the thing is, going back to the more information and the nutrition and all that, it needs to be more accessible to know that people, if you don't want to eat dead animals anymore, you're not going to start dying of protein deficiency. And especially with the fortified things that are coming out these days, it's like with we'll just say omnivorous diet, you don't have to think about what you're eating because they've fortified everything, or the animal's been supplemented with it, or things like that. So people don't even have to think about what they're eating, whereas the vegans, they kind of at this point in time we have to plan our diet.
But we know where to get everything from now.
That's what I mean. You have to do a little bit of research to find out where you can get it all from, and that's all it is. And then afterwards, it's just.
Boom.
But some people
don't think about it these days, right?
No, we don't. But the thing is, it's effort for people.
Yeah, just that initial effort.
Yeah, and some people it's just too much. I don't want to change.
Just too much to put a tin of beans, some vegan sausages on a grill, and a toast in bread in a toaster. That's too much, isn't it, for breakfast?
Yeah.
As you say, it is getting easier these days. It's just a one-for-one swap a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So you talked about Jack in nursery. He's telling people this is cow's breast milk and so on. What does it do for him socially?
He's got lots of friends even the parents are very supportive. There'd been a birthday party recently where the parent, I don't even know the parent, I think they know Jack more than they know me, had actually made sure that all the children actually had a vegan party bag and vegan birthday cake because she knew about Jack.
No way. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and from what the nursery have told me, he is very supportive. He's he asks questions. He's horrible or anything. He just talks about it, and this is freedom of speech. He's allowed to talk about this as part of life. So quite supportive. He's got lots of little vegan friends as well, and there's obviously for Vegan Camp Out he's going to be with other friends that he's not met before that he knows about and he spoke to virtually. But he's got lots of different friends, non-vegans and vegans. So yeah, everyone is pretty supportive.
And I know you were vegetarian before you were vegan, as was I. And I was a preachy vegetarian when I was in school.
Yes. Yeah. I was the only vegetarian and I made sure everyone knew about it.
Right. And at that time, it had some negative effects, I think, right?
Yeah.
Are you worried about a similar thing happening?
Well, it has crossed my mind, but back then I didn't really know an awful lot. Jack obviously knows an awful lot now, and things are a lot different, and there's a lot of things in place like the Equality Act of 2010, the Vegan Society. You know, they've put a lot of support together for schools. There's also other people in the movement like Laura Shepner, who's now founded Vegan Inclusive Education. There's lots of different things that are available now for us to use, and we are not afraid to use them. And when Jack starts school,
because we're at this sort of point, this pinnacle point where these, you know, this generation of, you know, young vegans are going to be going to school with this Equality Act behind them.
We need to be the ones to exercise and you know, push it forward.
It might even be anti-vegan teachers, you know, coming out. You don't know what is going to happen.
Possibly.
Yeah, but we're not going to be afraid to use this Equality Act on them.
No, and I think when he starts school, we'll be saying, you know, in advance, you know, we want to come around and look at the school. What is your vegan menu like? What is, you know, what are you doing for vegan inclusion? And if it's not in place, we'll get it in place. You know, it's we know what we're doing. Yeah, we know how to get that support. We've helped other people, so it's I'm nowhere near as bothered by it as I was. But I think all children can bully each other no matter what their background or their lifestyle is, and we all need to stand up against any forms of bullying or discrimination.
If somebody wants to bully, they'll find something.
They will.
In terms of the veganism, I think things are a lot different to how they were like 15 years ago. Now we have got plenty of vegans in the country, and especially vegetarians. I know
he won't be on his own.
Exactly. So I think the worry's a lot less.
Yeah, definitely.
Can we talk about Halloween? Do you do trick-or-treating?
Obviously, the pandemic, we've not really been anywhere because of the pandemic. And I think last year we did a Halloween party at home, didn't we? Because he's only little. I think even when I was little, I never really went anywhere for trick-or-treating. I don't know. It's not something we really thought about. Lots of different people do it differently. Some people do the switch, so you take the sweets when you do trick-or-treating, and the parents will say, this has got this, and they'll just switch them, give them away. But the way to change this is Jack knows, he will just say, is this vegan? We've taught him to ask if something is vegan. So I guess he would probably go, oh, thank you, is this vegan? And if it's not, you go, oh, no, I don't want that.
They'll probably let the door, they'll probably be like, oh, we might have a banana. That's right. It might,
got some grass in the garden for you, mate.
Oh yeah, we like grass.
Get him an apple quick out the fridge.
So I don't know. We haven't really got there yet. I think we'll go with whatever we go with as he gets older. But for now, I think it's going to be parties and stuff at ours, and we'll probably do the trick-or-treating so that when people come to our door, we'll have those accidental vegan sweeties and make it fun that way for now.
When you go to the supermarket and Jack sees things like meat, eggs, and milk, what's his reaction? Is there one?
Well, he doesn't know it as meat. He knows it as dead animals. And he goes, look, Mummy, there's dead animals over there.
He's not afraid to shout it. You
know? Look, there's something from a chicken's bottom over there. It's an egg. It's from a bottom. That's what he's like. That's because he's learned that. He's learned that they are dead animals.
And he's like, cow's breast milk. We don't
have that, do we? That's that's what he's like, because he just knows the truth. He's not
we'll have to do like a video.
We'll have to do a video.
That'd be cool.
That's what he does. And he'll sometimes go, look, they've got dead animals in their trolley, Mummy. That's what he's
as we're going past.
He's just speaking the truth, Reese. That's what
you're right. You're absolutely right. Can we talk about nutrition? I know it's fine.
Yeah, go for it.
Don't children need milk for strong bones?
Cow's breast milk for strong bones.
Well, it depends which milk. If you're on about soya milk, then
yeah, you can get strong bones from soya milk, but also tofu and vegetables and legumes and
certain greens have got lots of calcium in them.
Yeah, so children do need calcium, yes, but not necessarily from a cow's milk.
Oh no, milk was the question. Milk. No, actually, cow's milk is quite the opposite. It can make it brittle.
It leaches the calcium.
It leaches calcium out of bones.
I've heard that. Do people talk to you very often that they're worried about Jack's health and stuff?
No, because they actually say the opposite. They say he's very advanced for his age. Shouldn't he be at school? He's very tall. He is. I mean, put it this way: we were having a walk the other day, and children of his age don't normally read, but we saw this lovely, beautiful sign when we were out. And I said to him, what does it say? Now, it was a paw print of a fox, and it said fox. And I didn't expect him to do this, but he just went, fox, and read it just like that. Fox. And I was jaw. Like, I was speechless.
She was about to faint.
Yeah, it was shocking because he is very forward. Even his nursery have said he's very advanced for his age. He's constantly on the go.
We haven't taught him to read.
No, we haven't taught him. He's just like that. He's obsessed with planets. He
knows there's like 8 planets, and is it 5 dwarf planets? And
he knows everything.
Well, I didn't know there were 5 dwarf planets. So that's
I think there might be more. I don't know. I'll have to ask Jack. He knows.
He knows. He knows everything. Yeah, he knows more than us. No, they are the very opposite. How much he's thriving, how good he looks.
I tell you what, you don't want to get a dinosaur wrong.
No.
He comes up with Pachycephalosaurus, and he got.
It questions us.
Diplodocus.
Yeah, he's showing off now. Look,
and he tells us it's Diplodocus if it's American. He's very at the moment. He's interested in the differences between American and English, British English.
Yeah.
He finds it absolutely hilarious that they call trousers pants at the moment. So he's really quite forward, actually.
Yeah, it's scary sometimes, Reese.
You'll be running the house soon, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
he's running as well.
He goes around like pointing at things, going, "What's that, Daddy?" And I'm like, that's a sign. And he's like, "What's it in American?" I don't know.
It's crazy. It's hard. Yeah. It's always on the go. He's hard
always
work.
Wanting to try and find out the American word of it.
Yeah.
So if somebody is listening right now and they want to raise the child as vegan, but they're scared, okay, what's your advice to them?
I wouldn't be scared.
I wouldn't be scared at all, because unfortunately we're living in a society where the truth has been hidden from most of us in this society. We don't know an awful lot about it.
I think the first thing I'd say is, why are you scared?
Yeah, find out what
they
it
might
is.
come out and say, "Oh, we saw this study or whatever," and we might have to have a look at the study and see who it was funded by and whether it was peer reviewed and things like that, and then get to the bottom of this fear, because I think that's what's a lot of this media wants to do at the moment.
Yeah, it's hidden a lot of the stuff from us, hasn't it?
But yeah, I'll carry on with.
But also the British Dietetic Association, I've actually said that right for once. They have already stated, I can't remember the year, but that it's safe for all stages of life to raise your child plant-based. It's suitable for athletes, blah, 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 blah. And you don't just willy-nilly come out with that statement. So much has to happen for them to be able to say that. And it's not just a health organisation run by vegans. There is non-vegans as well in the British Dietetic Association. So you've got that. You've also got the plant-based health professionals who have got lots of information on raising vegan children. And if somebody was scared, they could easily get in touch with us, and we would be more than happy to provide support. We are mentors through the Vegan Switch as well, which is a vegan mentoring program, and we would be happy, to help them. I would go above and beyond to help somebody who wanted the support to go plant-based. We both would, wouldn't
definitely.
Especially with parents wanting that support. We try to
them with supplementation.
Yeah, we would give them a lot of information, and we would be there for them, definitely, because you need the support of other vegan parents, because it can be very lonely sometimes.
Even like products around the house, like shampoo. We can help them with all that, because we've put in the hard work, and we've went around Tesco's and we've looked at the backs of everything.
You've sampled everything.
Everything you can think of, we have looked at the back of it and found out whether it was vegan or not. So everything. I know it sounds a bit sad.
It's great. If you're listening to this on YouTube, the Vegan Switch is always linked down below in the description. Aside from what we've talked about, what are some of the negative things that people say about vegan parenting? And what are your answers?
Abuse, child abuse.
Yeah,
it's child abuse.
It's child abuse.
Abuse, really?
They think it's child abuse to prevent your children from having atherosclerosis. They think it's child abuse.
What is that?
Atherosclerosis is the cholesterol in your arteries.
Oh, okay.
It
can start in pregnancy. They can already have it in the womb. So, we're child abusers for not forcing dead animals on our son. But there's a massive anti-vegan movement against vegan families, and we have already witnessed and targeted this. We were targeted in the summer last year by the big anti-vegan movement, saying that we were malnourished, and the list goes on. But just don't be afraid to reach out, and as a vegan community, we've got to talk about this. We've got to tackle it. As I've said before, we've got the Equality Act on our side in the UK. We've got to be able to use it. People do question everyone's parenting, not just vegans, though.
Yeah, that's right. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you wish I had?
A good question is how we talk to Jack about the animal industry. Oh, yeah. So how do we educate him on that, I guess?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because we use books, and there's lots of people within the movement who do books, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Education. We've chatted to Jack very age appropriately about what happens to the animals. We haven't said, pigs are gassed in a gas chamber and hung up and
we don't go into that now.
We haven't told him that. We've told him that we've just been honest, and we've told him that yes, pigs are killed. Whichever animal he's asked me about, he's asked me what ham is, and I've said that is from a dead pig. So we had a little chat about what death was, and very age appropriately. It's very morbid, unfortunately. Vegan parents have a lot of these conversations with their children, so it's something you have to be ready for. But there's lots of books available now for children, all age appropriate. Vivi the Super Vegan by Tina Newman is a brilliant book that makes them feel like little super vegans. Well, they are little super vegans anyway. But there's Stanley Fu. There's lots of different books within the movement that really help them understand without you having to give the information, but also pictures. There's one by Ruby Roth called That's Why I Don't Want to Eat Animals, and the animals are in the cages, and Jack will say, well, why are they sad? That they've got ouches and they're bleeding. Nothing graphic, but just little things. And that's how he has formed his decision, by knowing what happens to the animals. And it can be done through education and stories, really.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose as he gets older, you'll give more information as it becomes sort of age appropriate.
Yeah, as and when he asks me more, I will be there for him.
Because we don't want to take his childhood away from him.
No, we're not doing that.
We don't want to give him a massive burden.
He doesn't have a burden. He just knows about it.
He just knows about it and just goes on about his business.
Yeah, he still does what all the other kids are doing, climbing up things he shouldn't be climbing and being a pain in the backside. Yeah, he just knows things that many of the children don't, unfortunately.
And probably parents as well.
Yeah, the parents probably don't know.
So when I last talked to you about vegan parenting back in January, you had a project going on with schools. Yes, still going on?
Wow. Unfortunately, there was a big load of emails and telephone calls that went out. And because of the pandemic, the schools back in January were really struggling.
Well, they were open.
No, and we sent out a lot. There's been quite a lot of people involved, and we've had 3 responses back.
No.
From all of the schools. Even the schools in our area have just not replied. And I appreciate that it's a really tough time for everybody. But during this time, there has been the Ruth Jenkins behind Vegan Inclusive Education. It is a website.
She's had a big win, hasn't she?
She's had a big win with getting these packs sent into schools. So we've been pushing that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, That's not to say that we won't do this again in the near future, but right now it's just not the right time.
Yeah.
It's, you know, the schools have enough to deal with. And I think perhaps when Jack starts school, we'll be able to see what's going on then. I mean, he starts school next year.
Yeah.
I think we just need to wait.
We appreciate everyone's effort and everyone trying to help us, but
everyone has put a lot of effort in, but when
we just had,
you can't make the schools respond if they're not going to.
No, it's just nothing. It's just a shame. But the pandemic is the pandemic, and it just really got in the way of it.
Absolutely. They had, well, let's say they had bigger things going on.
Yeah. It's not important right now for the schools, and I appreciate that. What is important is that we all actively, you know, support the schools
and
when
prevent
children prevent
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Ironically, one of the good ways to prevent it is
a plant-based diet. Yeah. We all know that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just supporting other parents. When I've seen things on Facebook groups about, oh, my child's struggling at school, it's just, do you know about this? Do you know about this? I'll put you in touch with them. And that's sort of what we're doing at the minute.
Excellent.
So Ruth Jenkins has got all the, you know, the wind in her sails at the moment.
Yeah, we're pushing that all the time.
So that is the one to turn to if you ever get stuck and you're listening to this.
If somebody wants to help out, is that possible?
Ruth actually pays for all the postage and all the printing for these packs that are going into schools, and the parents have to drop the little pin on the map where they want this pack to go, and she will send it out. I think she's trying to actively look for funding to help get that across. I think there's 30,000 schools in the UK.
Oh yeah.
So I think she's trying, that's sort of her next thing. But just get in touch or have a look at veganinclusiveeducation.co.uk, and all the information is on there. You can even print a pack out yourself as well.
Okay, so lastly, let's plug your YouTube channel. So give me your best sales pitch.
Oh dear, you're good at this.
Right, well, our YouTube channel is just sort of a mixed match of
us.
Our, you know, response videos, you know, visuals, animal activism,
normalizing vegan families.
Yeah, normalizing vegan families. Just
gaming streams for fundraisers.
Yeah, we just try at the moment. Not so much because we've had a bit too much on our plate.
Yeah, we've been going away on holidays.
Yeah, holidays, you know, sunshine. But yeah, it's just, I like to think of it as just, you know, a family fun channel. It's
a little community. We try and support everyone. We do. We haven't done one for a while. We'll have to do one where you promote your own YouTube channel. So we'll do a live. You come on. You come and have a chat. I'm sure you've joined us before, Reese, and you just come and tell everyone about your channel and just try and introduce new people within the community and support one another, because that's what it's all about, supporting. It's hard to get through YouTube, and it's taken us 2 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. So it's been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
Yeah, I say it only started off as a a recipe channel.
Really?
Just a bit of fun.
Yeah, we just wanted to show off what we were eating and just making sure, you know, people knew that we weren't dying.
Thank you for listening. It's always a pleasure to speak to Daniela and Adam. If you want to reach them, you can go to UK Vegan Family on YouTube. That's UK space and then Vegan Family is one word. If you're listening on YouTube, you can just click the link below. Before you leave, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.